A grieving father, Noah Grant, and his young daughter are trapped in a mountain cabin during a snowstorm when a group of bikers called the Iron Roses arrive seeking shelter. What happened next will shock everyone. The wind whispered through the trees like a ghost searching for warmth. Snow fell endlessly, covering the small mountain cabin in white silence. Inside, Noah Grant sat beside a weak, flickering fire. The flames danced low, casting trembling shadows across the wooden walls. His hands were rough and cold, his eyes hollow from years of loss. On the couch, his little daughter Emma lay sleeping, clutching a worn-out teddy bear. Her breath fogged faintly in the chilly air. Noah gently pulled her blanket tighter, watching the fire shrink as if the last bit of warmth was leaving with it. Once he had built motorcycles and dreamed of freedom. Now all he built were walls around his heart. Outside, the storm thickened, the night roaring louder. The cabin trembled under the weight of snow. Noah stood at the window, staring into the white void, unsure if the world still existed beyond it. But before we dive into what happens next, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from today? Drop your country in the comment below and please like the video. Thank you. Now let's continue. The fire hissed, snapping him out of his thoughts. His eyes lingered on the framed photo above the fireplace. A younger version of himself, his wife, and a smiling Emma. Felt like a lifetime ago. He remembered his workshop. Bright lights, the smell of engine oil, the roar of machines he'd built with his own hands. That place had been his pride, his heartbeat. But bankruptcy, loss, and grief tore it all down. Now, this cabin was all he had left. One man, one child, and memories that hurt to touch. Noah rubbed his tired eyes and looked back through the window. For a moment, the snow looked endless. Then something flickered. Light. Then another. And another. Headlights, slicing through the storm. The deep rumble that followed wasn't thunder. It was engines. Motorcycles. Dozens of them. Their lights shimmering through the snow like fireflies in frost. Noah frowned. Who would ride through a blizzard like this? He threw on his coat, grabbed a flashlight and stepped outside. The cold bit into his skin, the wind howling like a living thing. The sound grew louder until shapes emerged from the storm. 20 riders, their headlights blazing like a trail of stars. The bikes rolled to a stop in front of his cabin. Snow covered the riders' leather jackets and helmets. Leading them was Riley Storm, a tall woman with strong features and eyes that held both power and pain. She removed her helmet, steam rising from her breath as she spoke. "Sir, we didn't mean to intrude," she said, voice steady despite the wind. "The storm hit faster than we expected. We need shelter, just until it eases up." Noah hesitated. His fire was almost gone, food scarce, and the roof leaked. But looking at the group, shivering, exhausted, desperate, something inside him refused to close the door. He nodded once. "Come in. It's not much, but it's warm." The cabin came alive like a forgotten heart learning to beat again. The women removed their heavy coats, hanging them near the fire. The scent of burning wood mixed with the faint aroma of motor oil and coffee. One rider unpacked a thermos and poured steaming cocoa into a small cup, handing it to Emma as she stirred awake. "Hey, sweetheart," the woman smiled. "You look like you could use this." Emma's sleepy eyes widened, then sparkled as she took a sip. Her small giggle filled the room, a sound Noah hadn't heard in months. Laughter and stories soon replaced the silence. The riders shared tales of the roads they'd traveled, the people they'd helped, the challenges they'd conquered. The cabin glowed not just from firelight but from warmth born of kindness. Riley watched Noah quietly as he stood apart. His posture sharp, his movements precise. She recognized that look, discipline carved from years of service. "You served, didn't you?" she asked softly. He nodded. "Marine Corps. Feels like a lifetime ago." She smiled faintly. "Then you know what it means to protect others, even when you've got nothing left." Her words lingered in the air. Noah didn't reply, but something shifted inside him. The firelight flickered in his eyes, reflecting a spark he thought he'd lost forever. By morning, the world outside had turned pure white. The storm had quieted, the air crisp and still. The riders packed their gear, checking their bikes. Before leaving, Riley stepped outside with Noah, stopping by the snow-covered remains of a small building beside the cabin. His old workshop. "You built motorcycles here, didn't you?" she asked. "Yeah," Noah said quietly. "Before everything fell apart." She looked at the broken sign, half buried in snow, and smiled. "Maybe it's time to rebuild." Then she put her helmet back on and rode off with her crew, engines roaring down the mountain road like thunder fading into dawn. Days passed. The storm cleared, but Noah's thoughts stayed restless. Riley's words echoed in his mind. Then, one afternoon, the rumble returned, that familiar rhythmic growl of engines. He stepped outside and his heart stopped. The iron roses were back, but this time they weren't alone. Behind them came 3 massive trucks bearing the Iron Roses Foundation logo. Riley dismounted her bike and handed Noah an envelope. Inside were papers and a letter. "You opened your door when you had little left," she said, smiling. "Now it's our turn." The trucks unloaded crates of tools, metal parts, paint, and machinery. With the help of the bikers and a few local volunteers, Noah's old workshop was rebuilt piece by piece. The new sign above the door read Emma's Haven, a name chosen by his daughter. It became more than a repair shop. It was a safe space for veterans, widows, and single parents, people who had fallen through life's cracks but still had the will to stand again. Riley made Noah a partner in a new program dedicated to helping struggling veterans find purpose through craftsmanship. Soon, laughter replaced loneliness, and the once empty cabin buzzed with life again. Engines roared, music played, and hope returned. Years later, Noah stood on stage beside Riley at a charity event for the Iron Roses Foundation. His voice trembled as he spoke to the crowd, his daughter now a confident teenager watching from the audience. "There was a night," he said, pausing, "when I thought the world had forgotten me. But it hadn't. It just sent angels. Angels riding through the storm." Applause erupted. Riley smiled beside him, her eyes glistening with quiet pride. The screen faded to black as the narrator's voice spoke gently. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps stories of hope alive. Tell us in the comments, do you believe one act of kindness can change a life? Because sometimes, all it takes is one open door on a stormy night to change everything. If this story touched your heart, don't just scroll away. Help us keep these echoes alive. At Echoes of Life Stories, we share tales that remind the world that kindness, love, and second chances still exist. Every like, every comment, and every subscription helps us reach one more soul who might need a little hope tonight. So please, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, and join our growing family of dreamers and believers. Share this story with someone who could use a reminder that even in the coldest storms, humanity still shines. Because here at Echoes of Life Stories, every story is a heartbeat. And your support keeps it alive. Red heart like, beach balloon comment, bell subscribe. Let's keep the light of compassion burning, one story at a time.